This is your weekly tech recap with Jamal Abbott. News and insights about the tech world in plain English. Before we get started today, just want to give a couple quick shout outs. So shout out to Sarah from Arizona, who told me that she enjoyed the show and learned a thing or two. Also shout out to Tiffany from California, who's a high school buddy of mine. And then also Matt from Oregon, who also let me know that he subscribed to the podcast. So I appreciate you both for doing that. And then special thanks for you for listening today. Really enjoy doing this, and I hope to bring you more episodes and more insights about the tech world. So let's get into this week's news. Apple's transitioned into digital services. Apple announced a variety of digital services available for consumers. First service is Apple TV Plus, which is a streaming video service exclusive to the Apple TV app. The service will include original movies and shows, and the app itself will be available on smart TVs and other devices like the Fire TV, which is made by Amazon, and Roku. No pricing has been set for this as of yet, but be on the lookout for this. The next digital service, Apple News Plus. So this is an actual upgrade of the existing Apple News app that you find on your iPad or on your iPhone, but this will include digital magazines and newspapers. You will also have on and offline access to content across your devices, and then up to 6 family members can share this service. This is priced at $9.99 per month, and they are giving 1 month away for free to get you to try it out. The next service, Apple Card, and this is a credit card that integrates with your iPhone and with the wallet app on your iPhone. Also works at Apple Pay, and they are noting that there's no fees, it's easy to use, and has a transparent interface. They also hit on the privacy strength of this service. To actually provide this service, they have partnered with Goldman Sachs for the first time, and this is the financial firm's first offering to provide credit to consumers. So this is coming out this summer. The next digital service, Apple Arcade. This is another subscription service, and it is a premium offering for video games. Over 100 video games, essentially an all-you-can-eat buffet style, and you can play on any one of your Apple devices. There's no ads or in-game purchases, on and offline play, and then this also can be shared to up to 6 family members. This is coming in the fall. So the thoughts on this one, this is definitely a move for Apple to integrate themselves into your digital life. And I don't think this is a bad idea at all. I actually envy Apple for being able to have such a great product, and then also just being able to tie those products to services that actually work together. I have an Android device myself, and it's often that I have to go out there and go and hunt and look for the app that works nicely with my phone. If you're in the Apple ecosystem, the stuff just works, and this is going to be a great complement to what they've already done, which is establish a great relationship with their customers. The other thing to note here too is that the tech industry in general has gotten away from hardware. So there's been some news reports about Apple's iPhones and iPads. They're not really selling like the investors want them to sell. But the tech world in general has moved away from selling hardware to selling services. So the good thing about services is that, it's not a tangible product. And then this is something that would give the company recurring revenue. Now, if you don't mind checking out these services, they're available for you. And I think the one thing that's really interesting about the service is the Apple Card itself. That one kind of threw me for a loop because they're actually offering credit to consumers. So Apple is a company that's known for having a lot of cash on hand, and this is an interesting move because I think it really complements what they're already doing anyways, which is charging users for apps. They're already making these type of transactions, so why not offer credit services? And this may work for some people, and some people may not want to have Apple up in their business like that. But this is something that they're doing, and it's something for you to know about. And if you have any other thoughts about this, definitely let me know. We'll keep an eye on this. McDonald's tech investment to personalize your experience. McDonald's announced they have acquired Dynamic Yield. This company is a leader in decision-making and personalization technology, and they're based out of New York and Tel Aviv. This move gives McDonald's the ability to customize outdoor signage based on time, day, weather, and what's trending. Hashtag chicken nuggets are on fire today. Having this technology also gives the ability to suggest additional foods based on the customer's current selections. Expect to see the updates rolled out to restaurants in 2019 and to their digital products in the near future. I did some additional research, and we're actually used to seeing this technology. So if you have bought anything on the internet, especially with Amazon, you're getting ready to check out, or maybe even add an item to your cart, you may see some suggested items. Maybe you might want to get, some hair care products to go with your brush, or you may want to get some additional flash memory to go with the computer that you just purchased. So this is no different from what we're already used to seeing online, and this is a clever move for McDonald's to really separate themselves from the rest of their competition. And it was funny because I actually went to McDonald's here recently from a client visit in Arizona, and this was the first time that I had went to McDonald's in quite some time, and it was interesting to see the actual kiosks that I used to order the food. So no big deal. I mean, touchscreen, we're all kind of used to that. And it was pretty easy to make the order. But I can see how this could be used to get more consumers to purchase goods and just to give them things that are a little bit more relevant to their experience. So instead of having that person asking if they want to supersize or if they want fries with that, you're going to have a digital kiosks and giving you suggestions, and I can actually see this working. Next story, Verizon and the NFL enter into an innovation partnership. So this is a 2-year innovation partnership to develop new products and services that will utilize 5G wireless and other future technologies. This relationship furthers the overall fan experience and will enhance NFL games. 3 key areas will be focused initially with this partnership. The first key area is to enhance the in-game stadium experience, inviting game developers to create NFL-themed games that will showcase 5G capabilities, and then also display and utilize emerging video streaming technology. Verizon will explore the use of 5G to stream volumetric video, which is in an emerging media format, for the development of new fan experiences and applications. So both parties will benefit from this partnership. There's still a lot of confusion out there about what 5G is for consumers and then how this technology will actually be used. And then also for the NFL, they're going to have to find new ways to keep their fans engaged. So by them partnering with Verizon, this gives Verizon an opportunity to showcase what those capabilities are for a 5G network as we get closer to those days where this technology is going to be in the hands for all consumers. And then actually there was a recent announcement by the Dallas Cowboys, who has a partnership with the AT&T, which is the sponsor of that stadium, and they've actually announced a similar situation to where they would use AT&T's mobile network to demonstrate some capabilities with 5G, and then also to just enhance the experience for fans in the stadium. These days, the NFL is struggling to capture their viewership, ratings, getting people to stadiums. So this is a good move for them to bring fans back to the stadiums, to keep them engaged. And then for the most part, when people are in these stadiums, they're looking at their phones anyway, so they might as well go ahead and get some use out of the people looking at their phone. So more to come with that. And then the other interesting thing about volumetric video, I had to look this up because this was a new term for me, but it utilizes cameras in multiple angles. And then I actually saw a YouTube video where they showed somebody with like a virtual reality headset on, and they were able to look at a 3D image, and this individual was actually circling around this 3D image and was able to get all views of that image. So I can imagine something like that happening to where you're at a game, maybe you have your phone in hand, and then you're able to pan around and see all the players on the field, maybe get a close-up of the quarterback or of the running back, and then see the game from different angles that we are not able to see at the present moment. So more to come, and looking forward to seeing what can be done with 5G. Spotify makes another podcast acquisition. Spotify enters into an agreement to acquire Paracast, a podcast storytelling podcast studio. And then this is the second move that Spotify has made related to podcasting. So just in February, the company made 2 acquisitions for podcast content producers, Gimlet Media, and then Anchor, which is a market leader for podcast creation and publishing service. Paracast, which started in 2016, is known for producing 18 premium podcast series and has plans to release 20 new shows this year. This move gets Spotify closer to their goal of being the world's leading audio platform. So my thoughts on this one, I've been a long-time podcast listener, but recently got into producing podcasts of my own, and I didn't realize how big this area was. And I had to see what Spotify was thinking on this one. I wanted to get their vision. I wanted to just get a better understanding of where they're going with this. And just reading the CEO's thoughts, and they want to get beyond just streaming music. So if you remember the Spotify story, initially they got into the music streaming game, but with that, they don't necessarily own the rights to the music that they're actually streaming. So by having access to original content, having your own podcasting studio, and then being able to deliver shows, this is another opportunity for them to deliver revenue and just provide another experience for consumers. Another view I saw on this one, they're looking to be the Netflix of your ears. So that's an interesting idea that Spotify will have once they make more moves, they make more acquisitions related to podcasting. So this should be pretty interesting, and I'm excited. And this show is actually on Spotify, so if you are on that, thank you for listening. And this is exciting times for Spotify. Lyft's IPO is now available. Lyft Incorporated initial public offering, IPO, is now available on the NASDAQ stock market. The company provides transportation services, also known as ride-sharing, for consumers and businesses. Started in 2012, Lyft provides over 1 million rides a day. So my thoughts on this one. So we actually had a discussion about the benefits of ride-sharing in a class that I teach called the Digital Learning Series that can be found on YouTube. And if you want to check that out, that's Jamal Abbott. Just do a search for that on YouTube. And I want to play a clip of that discussion. So check this out, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Yeah, you have to park the car, you have to figure out where you're going. If you get in the Uber, they take you where you want to go. And you come out, you plug it in, they come pick you up and take you there. It was wonderful.
Absolutely. And then you don't have to worry about that awkward exchange of cash, like, hey, do you have change for 100 or anything like that?
Yeah, it goes right on your credit card.
Absolutely. Great. Appreciate you sharing that.
How about Lyft? Does anybody use that?
Yeah, Lyft is pretty popular
Same
too.
thing.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Sure.
It's very much exactly the same thing as Uber. I use it, but it just depends, I don't know, how I feel.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Lyft's
I haven't
another
used
popular.
either, but I was just curious.
Yeah, Lyft is pretty popular. Do you know what the colors look like for Lyft? Their logo or the brand at all?
The big L, no.
It's so it's spelled Lyft, Lyft, but you can't miss it because you'll see these cars driving and they have it looks like a pink lava lamp in the car. Yeah, it's glowing pink. So those are Lyft drivers that are driving around. So the other thing too about this is that some of these drivers drive for both. They'll drive for Uber or for Lyft. But either one, I mean, they're going to get you to where you need to get to. So once again, these technologies are connecting people that need rides, and then these people that want to give rides and get the most out of their car, they're willing to drive you around for a small fee.
Is there a difference in price between the two?
It's not really. I think it all depends on where you're at, what's going on in the area, and so the rates kind of fluctuate.
Yeah, because it seemed it was much more expensive for me to go from the airport to home here than when I went all over the place in Seattle.
Yeah, and that might be just a Vegas thing, especially we have so many people coming in and out of the city. So that I can see that being the reason why the rates go up. The other thing too, you got to think about like with NASCAR weekend and any of those type of like conventions that are coming into town. Exactly. So, and the good thing though is that you can kind of plan this stuff out in advance. So it's like, okay, I'm looking here. I don't want to do the Uber. Let me just call my daughter and have her take me to wherever, or maybe get a taxi. But at least you can compare the fares.
Oh, a taxi's much more than Uber.
Yeah, yep.
Absolutely.
You can compare the fares. You don't have to worry about getting ripped off now.
More.
Yeah. How crazy is that?
It's nuts.
Yeah. So no transparency, pre-apps, pre-technology. Now that we have this technology in the forefront, we have a whole lot of transparency, and we can make the best decision on what we want to do with our lives. So that's the beauty about understanding this and the digital technologies that we're involved in today.
And we're back. And as you see from that clip, there's a lot of use from these ride-sharing services. A lot of excitement, and there's just other opportunities out there beyond just giving people a ride. So for instance, I had a conversation today with a driver who does deliveries through Instacart. So Instacart is a grocery delivery service, and this particular driver not only drives for Instacart to deliver groceries, she also does it for Uber Eats, and she's plenty enough busy with the services that are available today through sharing rides. So there's opportunities out there. And then with this IPO going to the market, this just shows you how relevant this company is today. And then how relevant other companies like Uber, who's going to be releasing their IPO here probably the next couple months. And then other types of technologies that incorporate transportation as a service. So we're going to see more examples of this. One story that I read a while back involved the delivery of prescription medicine from a place like a CVS directly to the consumers. So for those individuals that don't have rides or who need rides and need their medicine, they can actually depend on a service like this. And then maybe you out there might come up with that next idea or that next service that incorporates elements of ride sharing and then your own personal touch to deliver a new service to the market. I mean, you never know, not until you put yourself out there. But Lyft and other transportation services are out there. They're here to stay. And then over time, as we get advanced with our technology, we're going to be seeing autonomous vehicles coming into the fold. Nothing to worry about now, but just know that it's coming here pretty soon. The main takeaway from these stories: each of these tech-based stories that we've listened to, they all incorporate services that change our lives. And it's really our decision on how we want to be connected to these services. So from the Apples of the world that are giving you additional entertainment options to the Lyfts of the world that are giving you options for transportation, these services are available, and it's here today. And the crazy thing about this is that 15 years ago, these types of services weren't even on the map. So that just goes to show you how fast this technology is evolving, and then where we're at today, where we're actually able to participate and trade some of this public stock involving tech companies. And now we have some questions from the Quora community. And this first question comes from Shayna, and this was a request to answer. The question is, what's the best way to diffuse a situation with an angry customer? So this is a great question, and it can be tough when you're dealing with an angry customer. So how I would approach this is not to take the situation personally. So I don't know if this angry customer just has a bad day on the job. I don't know if they've had some troubles at home, or if they're tired or stressed out, or whatever the case is. But I would not take that situation personally, and I would just look to get the requests handled as swiftly and as smoothly as possible. So the main thing is, don't take the situation personally. Focus on delivering the service that the customer is requesting. And then also along the way, this is an opportunity for you to make your mark by making this person's day just a little bit easier. And you never know, you might be able to turn this angry customer into a customer that's satisfied and delighted in the long run. The next question is from Nick, who asks, why does a cell phone have static on a call? So this is another great question, and you may be wondering, okay, well, why would a cell phone have static? There's no cords, there's no loose connection, so how could that be? And it could come from a couple different places. It could be the cell phone itself that's having some problems. Maybe there's some loose components in there. Maybe there's a bad radio antenna in there that's causing some problems. The next place I would look at is the actual cell phone network itself. And there's not a whole lot of control that we have over that, but there could be like a bad channel or a bad connection within that network itself that's causing that problem with the static. So the best way to get around that is to make some test calls, call a couple different people, and try to see if that problem is just is it your problem? Is it a problem on the network itself? And once you're able to do that, then you're able to isolate and narrow down what the problem is. If it's a problem with your device, you may have to look into getting that fixed. Or if it's a problem with the network, contact your local cell phone provider and have them take a look at that. The next questions, there's two of them that I got on Quora, and it's related to AT&T's 5G network, and we'll get a little bit more into that in just a moment. But they both asked a similar question, which is, AT&T's 5G network is slower than their competitors? Why? So we have to clear up a couple of things here. So 5G, we're just in the early stages of 5G, and there's only a few markets that actually have true 5G service. So for instance, I think at this recording, AT&T has about 4 markets that have 5G, and I could be wrong on this one. And I believe Verizon only has a few markets that they actually have 5G service. What AT&T did, they are branding their advanced 4G network. So this is 4G, so this is the 4th generation of wireless. And I should actually clarify what 5G is. 5G is the 5th and latest generation of wireless technology. So that wireless technology involves voice calls, data, and then just other technologies to allow us to use this without wires. So with AT&T's 4G network, there's been some advances, there's been some improvements over the years, and some of the first 4G networks came out about 10 years ago or so. So since that time, improvements have been made, But what AT&T has done differently, they are actually branding their advanced 4G network as 5G E. That E standing for evolution. So they're saying you're on the evolutionary path of 5G by being on this 5G network. But it's confusing, and people are thinking, well, I got a 5G cell phone, and how come it's not as fast as this other person that has his 4G phone? Well, that's why, because it's actually labeled as 5GE, but it's truly an advanced 4G network. We got a lot of G's going on here. Just hang with me here real quick. So, with that being said, 4G speeds right now, they're averaging about 30 megabits per second, which isn't bad. I mean, it's a pretty good connection. But what they're referring to with the speed being slower compared to the competition, there was a study done by OpenSignal, and they compared the 4 major wireless carriers and their 4G offerings, and as well as their advanced 4G options for consumers. So they found that, I believe, if I'm remembering this correctly, Verizon was at the top of the testing, followed by AT&T, T-Mobile, and then Sprint. And we're talking about 30 megabits per second. And just think about this as like speed down a highway, right? So 30 miles. One report was about 29.8, and then a 29.6, and then and pretty much in last was Sprint, and they were right around 20 megabits per second. There's not a whole lot of difference between 30 megabits per second and then 29 or even 28 megabits per second, but there's quite a big difference between the lowest end of the spectrum with Sprint, which is 20, compared to the 30. Once again, so it's led to a lot of confusion, but to put a bow on this topic, 5G is coming. It's not out there yet. If you see the term 5GE, it's just a transition to the next generation of wireless networks, but it's not your true 5G service that's on its way. So I hope this makes sense. And if there's any more questions about this, definitely let me know. And we're actually going to be spending a little bit more time on 5G just because there's a lot of confusion out there about this. There's a lot of misinformation, and I think it's important to have good information so you can make good decisions about the technologies that are going to affect your lives. So I really appreciate your time and your ear today. I really hope that this discussion brought some value, maybe a little entertainment to your lives, and I'm interested in your feedback. So if you want to reach me, you can find me pretty much on any social media channel, and that's at Jamal Abbott. If you want to shoot me an email, and that's Jamal, Jahmal, at thephoneguy.com, and that's THA phoneguy.com. There's an A in there. And don't forget that as you're writing that email. Otherwise, it's going to go somewhere else completely different. But shoot me an email. I'd love to get your feedback, answer any questions, and we can get them on the next episode. And then if you're interested in leaving a review or a rating, go ahead and put that out there. I wouldn't mind getting your feedback. I want to know how I can serve you and how I can just provide some more information to make your lives better when it comes to this tech stuff. I really appreciate your time today. I hope you have a great day and the rest of the week goes well too. And we'll talk again soon.